Hey guys, tonight I thought I would show you, if you haven't seen before, how these clutches are put together. This is out of the KV, and this is what was in it. You know, when I found it, it was pretty tore up, and I think transmission parts got stuck in there. Don't know, because I believe the transmission's bad. Don't know, I haven't had that apart yet either. But anyway, I got some new NOS pieces, okay, to replace some of these, and I also had a second clutch, so I was able to salvage this piece out of the other clutch, and it's in here now. And it also, the other old clutch, the other clutch had good discs in it. I guess these are the frictions. So anyway, that's what's in there now, and I got all the stuff, so I'm gonna take this apart and put that in there, and mostly just show you how it's all assembled and how it works. This is what it looks like when it comes, you know, when it's in the bike, I guess. What you do is you remove this nut, and then what they say is just pull this off. Oh, there's the washer, and that's what you get, okay? And so that is really all you have to worry about. This remains on the bike. The reason I took this out is to show you, one, how it engages with the frictions. You can see that if I can get it in there. There you go. Okay. And two, this is what makes the kickstart work. The kickstart is always engaged 100% of the time. Okay. Well, this bearing in here, I don't know if you can see that or not. Okay, but there's a bearing in here, and it's a one-way bearing. Okay. So I got my finger in that sleeve, see? And I can turn it this way, but I can't turn it that way. You notice the sleeve's moving, see? So that's what happens when the engine gets started. This just spins, okay, and because it's spinning faster than the Kickstarter, you know, it's essentially releasing the Kickstarter. It's kind of the same way the Z1s work with the electric starter, okay. So anyway, I just want to show you that part, with the one-way bearing there. So next we'll go ahead and take this apart. Now I've had this apart several times, but there's slots here, okay, and there's holes in these nuts, and that is the adjustment for when you reassemble this with, you know, new frictions or whatever. You set the gap in between, I guess, any plates, you know, just pick one, and you set it for like 1 millimeter, excuse me. I think 1 to 1.2. I'll have to look that up. But that's how you do that. So I've already got these off. Now what they say in the book, I'm going to get a wrench to get it apart, is crank these in until, you know, you have to pull the little cotter keys out. Crank these in until you bind the coils. There, that one just hit. That one, this thing is loose, which is why I bought another one. And there, that one just hit the coil. Okay, then that's kind of loose. Then you can pop this snap ring out of here. And there's that. Okay, now I'm going to lay these in order that they go, so you can kind of see what's going on. So you got this, the snap ring. The next piece out is this, and you'll notice these marks on here. And the reason I got it in this way is because those balls made these marks. Well, I want to try to start with everything new. This has no marks on it from the balls, so I'm going to stick it in this way instead of those balls trying to follow these tracks. Okay, so that's why otherwise it would have looked like this when we took it out. Okay, but like I say, I'm going to stick it in this way and give the balls new tracks. It's a flat plate. So there's that. The next thing out is all the balls. Now I'm going to pull these two pieces out because they're actually two pieces. Okay. actually 16 or 17, whatever that is. You have all the balls that ride in this ramped track, okay? And all it is, when the motor spins, these balls want to move out to the outer side, centrifugal force, and it pushes down on this assembly against those springs that we were setting here, okay? And there's also 4 smaller springs that help keep it apart, okay? So that it'll disengage. So you got these. I'm going to just work this over here and push it in the middle so I can get these 2 pieces apart and show you. So anyway, there's that. Okay, then you got all the balls. And then you got this piece. Now this piece was out of the older clutch. It was rusty, but I was able to save it. I believe I sanded this and filed it and ground it flat again to get the ridges off. It was nowhere near as bad as these, but you know, so I think I'm going to use that. I might buy a new one, but that's in there. That's the next thing. But let's go that way. Then you got one friction disc, and you got a steel plate. Okay, and that's, I got the new one for that. Okay, so we'll just lay that one there, put that one in this pile. And you got another one. Okay, and I've cleaned all the little grooves out and washed these things, blah blah blah. Okay, so now you're left with this piece, which is this piece. So after you get that far, just start backing these off. Hopefully that one will spin. I'm gonna have to grab it with something. And it's going. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that one stud's loose in the plate and just spins around. That could be fixed if yours does that. Just probably peen it a little bit. Whoops. So there's that. And then I'll do it the other way. There, and you got these 3 springs on that plate. And we're going to replace this plate because, as you can see, it's been grooved and there's a big ridge right there. So again, I want to start new and get the best engagement I can get, so I bought another one. So there's that. So there's all the pieces that basically make these things work, and that's how they work. So I'm just going to go ahead and clean everything up again, put it back together, and this part of the rebuild will be done. Okay, thanks. Okay, I got this thing all put back together, and now it needs adjusted. So I was going to just show you how I kind of do it or whatever. And if you know, the spec is 1 to 1.2 millimeter, and a millimeter is 39.0394 inches. Okay, or let's call it 39 thousandths, 40 thousandths, whatever. What I do is I find, when I do something like that, is just find 2 consecutive feeler gauges, if I can, that happen to add up to what I want. Well, anyway, they're 19 and 20. That's 39. That's a millimeter. Okay, so that's what I'm going to use. The thread on this just so happens to be a 6 millimeter by 1 pitch, 6 by 1. And what that means is for every 1 turn of this nut, that's a millimeter. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm just going to back these all the way off. Okay, so now they're not touching nothing. And I'm going to put my fingers on here so they don't rattle. And you'll notice nothing rattles. Okay, which means, you know, the frictions are tight. They're stuck in there. So now, if we take these and just touch the metal, you know, just like that, kind of finger tight. Now, if we very carefully go 1 turn on each of those, we should be really darn close. Okay, so I'm going to take that and I'm going to make, you know, a straight line through here, best I can, there, and I'm going to go 1 turn. Now I'm going to spin it, And I got to watch I don't move these, because now these are loose again because this one pulled up. It's going to pull those up a little bit. So I don't want to turn that or I'll be off. So there we go. Okay, so I'm going to go one round. Carefully spin it. Come on, get on there somewhere. There it is. And one turn. Now what I effectively should have done is moved each of these 3 points 1 millimeter. So my clearance should be about 1 millimeter. Okay. So I'm going to get down in here. Alright, it's not yet. So I'm going to go one flat. And you got to make sure these holes line up with the slots. So you can get your cotter key back through there. So what I'm going to do right now is just... There, that hole's in line with that slot. That one already is. That one already is. And I'll bet you I still don't have my clearance. Just because probably don't. Now, I'm going to go one more flat on each one. There, that one's lined up. That one's lined up. That one's lined up. Because no matter what, you know, regardless, you have to line those up to get a pin in there. There we go. Snug 40. Snug 40. And there you are. Then you just put your cotter keys in, bend them around, and they say to put them in from this way, legs sticking out, and that's just because of the centrifugal force would help hold the pins in. So there we are. It's all assembled. It's adjusted. It would be ready to go back on the bike at this point.